week's activity was to make a map. And the map was supposed to show the location of a bunch of different volcanoes that have erupted in the last couple of hundreds of years. So I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of kids who actually sent me a picture of their maps, such as Harshita, who did the maps that you can see here on Asia and the one for Australia. And this is Yogitha's North American map and Anish V's South America map. There were a couple other kids who sent me maps, but for some reason, they just didn't come out that well in the photos. And so these were the ones that I was able to show everybody. So as you can see on these maps, you can see the location of the different volcanoes. And you can see that they make kind of a circle surrounding the whole Pacific Ocean. So this is definitely something for us to consider when we're trying to figure out information about what could have happened to the animals and why they died and why it is that they all were able to turn into fossils. So there's definitely this pattern of volcanic activity all around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. And now we just need to figure out if that has anything to do with the fossils found at Ash Fall fossil beds. At any rate, thanks to all the kids who did the activity and were able to do the mapping. And in addition, if we were at school in the science lab, if we were at school in the science lab, I would definitely be pointing this out because this is really cool. So this is our map that we had on the wall in the science lab. This is a relief map, so it literally has bumps in all of these places where you can kind of see some shadows going on. But this is what we were just looking at with this activity. All of the places where those volcanoes are located are right here around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. And you can also tell, using this relief map, you can tell how there's a lot of mountains going on in this area too, right? Well, guess what? The mountains must be volcanic mountains, right? Interesting, putting all this together. So there's definitely some very, very cool things going on here. We'll definitely be learning more about this. I hope that this at least piques your interest a little bit so that you can get excited about the rest of what we're going to be learning about in this unit. Now, I wanted to give you an opportunity to see how to do the activity. So keep on watching, and I'm going to show you how to make your materials that you'll need for today's activity. Set up for this experiment, you do need to mix up a batch of lava. Actually, 3 batches of lava. In fact, the mystery science directions are going to tell you to mix 2, but since you're at home and you can just do things however you want, I'm going to recommend that you make 3 batches. And here's how to do it. So I think the easiest way to mix it is to use a Ziploc. So I've got some flour here, voila. I've got some water, and as you can see, there's a couple cups here. These are going to be for my final product. But the first thing to do is to mix up a little bit of thick lava in this bag. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just adding water. Now some of you are going to be really picky and say, Mrs. Holder, I need to know exactly how much. That's how much. A little water, that much. I don't know, what's that? Maybe a little over an inch in the bottom of this sandwich-sized Ziploc bag. Then, and I'm just going to set it in this cup. That way it doesn't flop all over the place. But now I'm going to get myself the flour. So, again, many of you are going to say, but I need to know exactly how much. I don't know. Let's add a little bit and see what happens. So I'm doing a big scoop at first, and let me mix that a little bit. This is why I think the Ziploc is so good, because you could certainly do this by just simply stirring, but by using the Ziploc, you can kind of mush it around and really make sure that you get it mixed. So that is not enough. Let me add a little more. I'm going to do about the same amount. Mix, mix, mix. Ooh, it's getting thicker. I think I'm probably going to need one more. Let's see. Now, the amount that you make is definitely going to be dependent on the cups that you use. So if you find some smaller cups to use at your house, then you won't need to make as much lava. If you have really big cups, then you'll obviously need to make a lot more. So you'll see kind of how this works in just a second here, and then that'll help you determine exactly how much you want to use. I think I am going to do one more because I want this thick lava to be pretty thick. So, oh yeah, that's getting much better. And yep, I think this is probably good. So, although I just said it was good, I've changed my mind. I'm going to do one more. So again, if you don't have that much flour at your house, I know that flour is one of those things that is hard to find right now at the stores. So if you don't have that much flour, just scale down the size of the cups that you use. Maybe you have like little tiny glasses that you use for something. Maybe that would be perfect for you to use for this activity. Okay, so that is pretty good. All right, so what I like to do when I'm doing anything with a Ziploc bag like this is that I squeeze out all the air and then I close the zipper and then I give it a lot more mixes. So I'm definitely gonna mix this around. A lot more mixes? What does that even mean? I think I'm making things up now. All right, so there, that's pretty good. So as far as how thick is it? It's like pancake batter. Do you know what that's like? That's about the thickness that you're looking for here. Ooh, and that comes to mind, if you don't have any flour, but you have some pancake mix, totally use that for this. Next thing, now that I've got this nice and mixed, the next thing to do is I'm going to need to squirt it out into these containers. So one of the containers, I need it to be full of just this thick pancake batter like lava. What I'm gonna do is cut off a corner of the bag. I just think it's easier to squeeze it out that way. You could certainly just unzip the bag. I don't know why, it just seems to make more of a mess though when I do it that way. So this is the thick batter. Can you see it coming out? I mean the thick lava. Oh wait, I was gonna dye it red. So wait, let me do that. I have some, what's it called? This stuff. Food coloring, there we go. So I'll put a little drop in there, put a drop in that one. Actually, I put 2 there, so I'll put 2 in each one. Okay, so you could also, of course, just put the food coloring in the bag. I forgot to though, so that's why I'm doing it this way. All right, so I'm gonna squirt some out in here. Now, I can squirt out most of it because these next 2 containers are not going to need that much. I'm gonna put about, let's see, go a little more of that. Okay, then my middle cup, this is gonna be my medium lava. I'm gonna fill it less, I mean, it's definitely less than half of what this first one was. So definitely a lot less than half. And then for this last cup, I'm really just gonna put a tiny little bit. So you can see my bag even looks almost empty now, but that's gonna be perfect. So I just want a little bit in here. You don't even have to put it in this last cup. It could just plain be water in this last cup, but I do like to have a little tiny bit of texture to my thin lava. So basically what you're doing here is that you're making thick lava, medium lava, and thin lava. But you might be wondering, wait, you just put the same exact thing in each cup. I know, but now, I'm going to dilute it a little bit. So if I fill this now to about the same level as the first cup, so that way everything else in my little experiment is going to be the same, including the amount of lava in each container. So I'm moving this one closer so that way I can see the level. I'm going down at eye level, so that way I'm looking at it straight on. And voila. Now, I'm just gonna use my same spoon that I had scooped my flour with and give everything a little stir. I'm gonna start with my thin, so that way I'm not getting it, you know, if I use my thick one first, then the spoon would be all covered in the thick lava, right? And then it would move on into the next cup. So this way, this is really bizarre looking pink lava. Who knew? Pink lava. So here's my medium thickness. And there's definitely some still stuck at the bottom here, so I'm giving it a nice good stir. Alrighty, and then the last thing is the thick. And if you've already mixed around your food coloring, you don't even need to actually stir this last one because it's already gonna be mixed. I'm just doing it to get the color mixed around. Okay, now, as you're watching the Mystery Science video, you will see the rest of the directions of what you're supposed to be doing with this. Let me put this in the sink. And it involves using a straw. You do need to also have a plate. You're gonna scoop out just a little bit of each lava onto the plate and kind of tilt the plate and see what happens. But at one point, what you're really doing is sticking the straw in and seeing what happens when you introduce gas. Now, in the real world, when we're talking about different kinds of lava and how they might explode, is it because somebody has some sort of giant straw and is blowing into the lava? No, What's going on though is that deep underneath the earth, there's gases that are being produced. You all know about the states of matter, right? Solids, liquids, gases. Well, what happens when you heat up water, for example, past its liquid state? Solid, you heat it, it melts. Okay, ice melting makes liquid water. You heat that more though, and the liquid water turns into gas, steam. Well, it's the same thing with rocks. We're talking about solid rocks being melted. Look, it's melted solid rock. It's magma. Then, if it still gets heated more, you're going to have parts of this magma is going to be turning into not just liquid, but it's going to turn into gas. So you have all these gases building up underneath the Earth's surface. Once this magma is erupted out into the Earth's surface, that's where we now start calling it not magma anymore, but lava. So lava and magma are just the same thing. It just has to do with being under the Earth, magma, or being exposed outside of the Earth, and now it's lava. But at any rate, you'll have your straw, you'll put your straw in, and then you'll blow. I don't want to do it because, I don't want to give anything away. But would you please do me a favor? And don't drink it. Do not drink your lava. No lava drinking. So you'll have your straw in there, take a breath, and then put the straw in your mouth, and then do your gentle bubble blowing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you were at school, we would be wearing eye protection, right? Because if you're sitting right here, hello, blowing bubbles, hello, you know what happens. So if you have any kind of swim goggles even, or ski goggles or anything like that, you can use them. Even if your parents have some like reading glasses or something that you could put on, that might be really helpful too. But at any rate, as you're doing it, if you don't have eye protection, what are you going to do with your eyes? Come on, come on, come on. Yes, just close them, right? So close your eyes, do the bubble blowing, open them real quick as soon as you stop blowing so that way you can see what your results are. So, ladies and gentlemen, have fun. This is your experiment for this week. And next week, I will see you again. Bye. Hey kids, it's me. I have a tip. Ice cream. Whatever flavor you want, go tell your parents that you absolutely have to have it right now for your science experiment. I mean, what parent in the world is going to say, no, sorry kid, I don't want you to learn about science. No, I will not buy you ice cream. Right? Am I right? So here's what to do. Get yourself some ice cream, let it melt a little bit. And you know how when ice cream melts, there it is right there. When ice cream melts a little bit, it gets that kind of, soupy kind of thing. Well, guess what? That's very similar to the lava that I wanted you to make, right? Or what about a smoothie, right? Throw some yogurt and some fruit or something like that in the blender and use that. Now, the advantage, of course, is that then if you accidentally start to drink your lava, it's not going to be gross because it's food anyway. So definitely be creative here, kids. I will back you up. If your parents send me an email in a few minutes saying, wait a minute, my child says they need to have ice cream to do their science experiment, I promise I will support you in your need to have ice cream. I will say, of course, yes, please. Is that okay? So hopefully it's going to work, right? If not, sorry kids, I tried. Have a great day. Bye.